Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text and we tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree. This is for the narrative lectionary, and we're moved into the Gospel of Mark, and this is the first children's sermon for the new year, when we look at things in 2020 vision, something like that. But we're looking at this Mark. It was still in the first chapter, and the text is 21 to 45. Mark 1, 21 to 45. Healing is going on. We got a couple of healing stories, and one of the things that I'm drawn to in this text is when Jesus, they go out into the neighborhoods, and there's a leper that comes up and says, "If you choose, you can make me clean. If you choose, you can heal me." And Jesus says, "I do choose. Be healed." And we a lot of times hear about choosing language. Have you chosen Christ to be your personal Savior? And this idea of it's very choosy. And for me, and for my theology and for the Lutheran theology, and that it's all about God choosing us first. Everything we do is a response. It doesn't get us, using the language, this is harsh, it doesn't get us off the hook, because that's not what, and I'm using that language on purpose. It's not like we have a personal responsibility, and now that God has claimed us and God has sent us into the world, we say now we are called by God to make this world a better place. We're in partnership with God. But the fact is that we say we can't do any of this without God first saying, "I choose you." God says, "I claim you, I hold you, you are mine." God moves first, always. So I love this text here where the leper says, "If you choose, you can make me You can heal me." And Jesus says, "I do choose." And I really want to focus on that we are claimed and chosen by God. That in the waters of baptism, God claims you, and God says, "You are mine." So that is one direction you can take. You've got your baptismal font. The kids can be around, and you can talk about that you are sealed with the cross of Christ forever. And and you can have the kids bless one another. You can talk about when they come up for communion. For us, we commune anyone who wants to receive. It's open communion. But I do have some folks that their kids don't receive yet, and they receive a blessing, and talking about that is God claiming them, and God says, "You are my child." So we can tie into the baptismal font. I've got a couple of ideas I want to pull back here. Yes, and the other is two other ideas. One is to have a bowl of party favors, and so that you have chosen. You've taken the party favors and you've put them into a bowl, and then the kids can choose them. And talking about how the kids chose what they wanted out of this, but I actually filled the party favors. I said, "Okay, these are the things I would like you to choose from." And there we are. And we know as parents that there are times where we go, I'm going to give my kids a choice, but I'm going to limit what that choice is. Would you like chocolate or vanilla ice cream? Rather than, what kind of dessert would you like? It's a similar question, but it's focused. Anyway, anytime we get talking about choosing, we can go completely off one side or completely off the other. I'm really focused on the fact that God comes to us first and God chooses us first. So you've got this bowl. They can pick the things and it's theirs, but I have said, and I'm the one who's got the bowl, and I say to them, "Here, pick one." I've chosen them to pick one. And so there's this whole relationship going on. So there's that. Now, if you've got some kids that are older, this one won't work for younger, like preschool. So this depends on your situation. But there's a card trick that because especially, here, pick a card. But this here is this idea of knowing a card before they have done anything. And so you've got the deck of cards here, and you go through. You can shuffle them up. You can do all you want. You shuffle them up, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to find a card here. All right, got a card, and you've set this down. You've got this here. I'm just going to put it down here, and then you have a kid. You've got the deck of cards, and the kid is going to deal down, and he's going to make a pile, and I'm dealing down, just here, dealing down, and he stops you. So you've got one pile. You take the second pile, and you're going to deal 2 piles back. And so you might be familiar with this one. It's a similar one to a 4-ace trick, but you deal back and forth. You've got pile, 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 back and forth, back and forth. So you end up with 2 piles with 2 top cards. And you've got the top card, and one card will be the suit, and the other card will be the value. So these 2 make up the king of diamonds, the king of diamonds. And the card that I happened to set down here for a while ago happened to be the king of diamonds. All right, it's a simple card trick, and since I'm going to teach it to you, then you'll actually have a little bit more understanding. And let's see here. I'm trying to figure out. Actually, what we'll do is I'm going to pull this back, and I'm going to reverse the camera, and we will get a little bit of here. Let me go here like that. I'm gonna stop this, and then I'm gonna reverse it, and we'll film some. All right, there you can hear me, and that's my chair, just so you know. I'm just trying to figure out a place that actually I've got a far enough distance so you can see. All right, so you've got your cards here, and after you have them shuffled, you are going to, when you spread them close to yourself, you're going to notice the top 2 cards. And here we have the 9, and we have the 3, the 9 of diamonds, the 3 of clubs. One you're going to pay attention is to the suit, and one to the value. For example, so we're going to go, I'm going to pay attention to the value on this card. That's going to be the 9, and then I'm going to pay attention to the suit here, and that's going to be the clubs. 9 of clubs. So I just happen to actually have the 9 of clubs there. It doesn't matter. So I go, as I spread through, and I'm spreading through towards myself. So the kids or the people wouldn't see this. So you go through and you spread through, and you look at the top. This means the entire deck can be shuffled. So let's shuffle, just as we shuffle them, we give them a cut, and then I go through, and now the top 2 cards, the 6 and the 2. So I'm looking for the 6 of diamonds. So I spread through and towards myself, and I'm looking through, and I find the 6 of diamonds towards myself, and I set this aside. All right. Now I've got the 6 of diamonds. I've got these 2 cards at the top. What I would do is I would start dealing, and I would ask someone to tell me when to stop. So I'd deal, making sure I deal, and then right then, after I deal the first 2 cards, I say, now, whenever you want, you can tell me when to stop. And they go through, and they tell me when to stop, and they tell me when to stop. There we go. Or you could have someone else do that. So now you have these cards here, and you have them, or yourself, you're going to make 2 piles. And what that does is that brings the 2 cards that were on the bottom up to the top. So these are face down like this, and you drop it on the floor just like that. But so you've got the 2 top cards. You've got the 6, which would be the value, and then the diamonds, which is on the floor right now. The diamonds is the suit. So you got 6 of diamonds, and you show them that's the card. And it's this idea about choosing, and that I knew beforehand. I already chose that. And so anyway, all right, I'm going to stop this, and then I will be right back. All right, that was a long explanation. If something of that didn't make sense, you can message me, ask me, let me know. Trying to video that with my iPad and all that, I think you got the point. But it's all about, you knew the card. You had a chosen card that happened to match up with what they chose, that you chose beforehand. And it's the idea is when the leper says to Jesus, if you choose, and Jesus says, I do choose. And so there are times that we can go, God, if you love me, and God says, I've already chosen to love you. I've loved you from the very beginning. That's what I do. I'm your God. I love you. All right, so plenty on that. I am way too long on this, but I hope something in here can be a springboard for your own thinking around your children's sermon. And always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope your Christmas has been fantastic, that your New Year started off great, and as always, thanks for stopping by.